Spring will grow in your leg. You find there is a spring in your leg. You will not stop here, you will fly over here. Because death is imminent. You will either jump or you die. It's a desperate situation. But what we're asking ourselves is, why not let love do it for us? Why must we wait till we get to desperate condition? If they tell you to fast, some of you who doesn't fast, you say, hey, by 12 o'clock, your body tells you you are going to die. Oh, hey, you are checking. One of my friends told me he fasted. The first time he fasted, he said he was fasting, and he was looking at the pot of beans. By 5 o'clock, he couldn't even, his leg couldn't hold him. He had to cross to the pot of beans. Where we can get to be saved. I'm sorry, I think I'm taking too much time here. Am I still on? Please, if I am, just give me a sign. I'm very weak with this thing, Those of us who doesn't know how to do public something, when we sit down, we took over everything. I'm sorry. When Henry Ford decided to produce his famous V8 motor, he chose to build an engine with entire 8-cylinder cast in one block, and instructed his engineers to produce a design for the engine. The engineers, the design was placed on a paper, but the engineer disagreed. To a man, it was simply impossible to cast 8-cylinder engine block in one piece. Ford said, produce it anywhere. But they replied, it is impossible. Go ahead, Ford commanded. Stay on the job until you succeed, no matter how much time it required. The engineers severally went back to Ford to inform him that it was not possible, but Ford insisted, go right ahead. I want it and I will have it. They went ahead and the secret was discovered, and his determination and the resistance won. The Light brothers did the same thing, and today we are all enjoying the fastest and the safest means of transportation, which is the airplane. Success is for those who refuse to accept or take no for an answer. People always think that success is meant for genius. Genius is nothing more or less than doing well what any other one can do badly. Many great men have said different things about success. For Sir Winston Churchill, success consists from going from failure to failure without losing focus. Churchill also noted that success is not final. Failure is not final, but the courage to continue that counts. Because be said, in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear to fail. What people call genius is the power that dazzles the mortal eye, which is often perseverance in disguise. No wonder Thomas Edison remained focused after failing 1,000 times to produce a bulb. He had several disappointments as an inventor, trying to develop a visible electric light bulb. He was interviewed by a young reporter who boldly asked him if he felt like a failure, and he thought he should just give up by now. Perplexed, Edison replied, "Young man, why would I feel like a failure? And why should I give up now? I know definitely over 9,000 ways that electric light bulb will not work. Success almost is in my grip." And shortly after 10,000 attempts, Edison invented the light bulb. Abraham Lincoln refused to throw in towel after several political defeats until he became the American president. Martin Luther King refused to take no for an answer, and today his dream have come to pass in the person of Obama. I am quite delighted and honored to be invited as a speaker in this August gathering of, I believe, many policymakers of this institution, practitioners, researchers, business representatives, and the students on this. I felt it's on the issue that I felt is crucial to achieving all-inclusive and sustainable economic growth and development in the critical economic of our life, especially here in this university. Just a few months to the deadline set by the global community to combat extreme poverty through a Millennium Development Goals, over 1 billion people around the world are still reported to be extremely poor. That is living with less than $1.50, about 225 naira a day. With sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast Asia accounting for over 80% of the global World Bank, of the global poor. This is World Bank report as 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, I would dare say that we live in a troubled time. This is true. Let's not fool ourselves about it. The oil price is plunging. We live in a troubled time. Next year is going to be a critical time, even for the bankers in this country. The countries that used to lead, the countries that used to lead the development of the group are finding it difficult to continue to do so. The Eurozone economy is still struggling with recessions, with growth figures not far from zero, as its debt crisis remains unresolved, while the US is beginning to see post-global crisis growth level of about 3%. Last year, other advanced countries are not getting as lucky with their growth figures, still far from previous achieved numbers in the 90s and in the 2000s. They are set to grow slowly at the slowest pace up to a decade. As this economic downturn continues to unfold, unemployment rates are rising. In fact, I didn't know you guys have something here. I wanted to show Balogu Stadium. When I show it and I ask you what is happening there, I'm sure you would have thought that there was another football match going on. But that was when, I don't know whether it was immigration looking for job. You will see a sea of human heads. You need to prepare yourself while you're in this school. Don't go out there looking for a white-collar job because they may never be there. But if you are well prepared, if they are there, let it be eyes on the cake. But if it's not there, you can move on with your life. Emerging markets like China, India have not been spared either, as they are set to grow at their lowest pace in up to a decade. As this economic downturn continues to unfold, unemployment rates are rising to an unprecedented level among the group, and the EU being a good example with unemployment rate of 11.1%, Spain and Greece 24.6% and 21.9% respectively. Youth unemployment in these countries is over 50%. Africa and Nigeria are not doing too badly on the growth front, despite the global economic uncertainty, with sub-Saharan growth focused at about 5% in 2014. The region's economic performance is set to better those of their other regions except Asia. Nigeria's growth rate has remained impressive at about 6.5% in the past decade and is projected to remain healthy at above 6.5% in the near terms. However, unemployment at about 24% and youth unemployment at about 40% remain a major challenge, more so as the number of new entrants into the labor force each year is projected to rise above 5 million by 2015. According to the Center Global Monitoring Report, written jointly by the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, with substantive inputs from the Organization of Economy of Cooperation and Development, there are key elements of economic policies that makes economic growth inclusive, sustainable within and across generations. Namely, one, greater investment in human capital with focus on poor. Two, product use of safety nets. And three, policies to make growth greener. I am very convinced that fostering youth entrepreneur is a laudable project that must encourage, that we must encourage, and that must get the attention of the policymaker in driving inclusive and sustainable growth through the key policy element. Entrepreneurship and business creation are a growing alternative for young people whose age gap often focus on labor market with double-digit unemployment rate. Traditional career paths and opportunities are disappearing rapidly. A growing number of young people are taking up challenges of starting their own business, and such is being learned about how the odds of success can be improved through various types of sustenance and through the creation of supportive environment. Investing in future entrepreneur with a view of building entrepreneurial society and to develop entrepreneurial youth for our collective future cannot be overemphasized. Of course, over the years, several countries have adopted and are adopting national policies to introduce entrepreneurship curriculum in general. Technical and vocational educations and training using their already existing network of schools, such that these programs reach out to rural and urban areas to get to all genders. The issue of particular experience excites me because I am not a theorist. My own training and development in entrepreneurship followed mentorship and on-the-job discovering learning over several decades. So I am not here to roll out set of theories for you. As a Nigerian businessman who have gone through the thick and thin of the tough business environment, I will be delighted to share particular ideas and approaches to develop young people's attitude, skill, and knowledge of entrepreneurial development, not just in Nigeria, but in the rest of the developing economies. In order to put into proper perspective the key imperative for entrepreneurial development among young people, I would like to briefly highlight some key challenges facing the young people. Key challenges facing the young entrepreneurs. Research has shown that among several challenges facing an entrepreneur including young people. The following are very prominent: inadequate education and training, lack of access to cheap funding, infrastructural and cost of doing business, microeconomic environment. While addressing all the challenges are critical to fostering entrepreneurial youth, I am convinced that the issue of education and training is fundamental. Creating more impact in the drive for entrepreneurial development in any nation. Our success as a nation can be no swifter than our progress in education, President J.F. Kennedy once said. So, a more fundamental question is, do we have an education system that can support our economic transformation by supplying the life skill needed, or do we need a complete change, a paradigm shift in education? This brings me to the part of my talk today, which I will open by sharing light on the role that education can play in the national development, moving on to discuss the state of Nigeria education system, and then touch briefly on what can be done to move entrepreneurial education system forward, and then get into the main topic of today. I can stop now. I'm sure you get what you need already. How to be a successful entrepreneur? The Coscharis story. The role of education in development of entrepreneurship. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. I am not surprised by these words. There is comparing evidence that education attainment, both in terms of years of schooling and cumulative scale, is positively linked to earning productivity. Recent research showed that in Nigeria, employees with primary education okay, I can cut all of this off. Let me just run now because I can notice there's a small distraction. Too many things, If you want, I go back. But I see some people standing up there and I don't want to keep you standing. I've jumped out some of the things I think Coscharis could do to assist in all of this area, because where they embedded into my stories. Okay, let me start from here. I believe it will be more effective if I share some real life experience, the challenges and the focus as an entrepreneur, and maybe get you agitated, trusting there will be a shift and something will ignite in your spirit, in the spirit of the policymaker, to develop entrepreneurial curriculum among a curriculum program that will help to foster entrepreneurial youth to become an entrepreneur that they may desire to be. And in telling the story, I believe I would have shared my idea on what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur on my experience, my story, and the Coscharis story. Prior to incorporation of Coscharis Motors, I have carried on business as a sole proprietor years after the years of my apprenticeship with my uncle. In January 1977, I founded the Madaka Brothers Company as a sole proprietorship based at Nnewi, Anambra State, and later formed a partnership with a bosom friend of mine, David Nwosu, called Cosdave. Madaka Brothers, which is engaged in importation of used motorcycle, give way to the company you know today that is called Coscharis. Coscharis is a combination of 7-letter words from my name and my wife's name. My wife is Charity like my daughter, so my name is Cosmas. So I wanted to make it look something corporate. I took my first 3-letter word, Cos, and then Charity. Instead of saying Coscharity, it looked local. I made it Coscharis. So a lot of people thought it was a Greek. A lot of people thought it was a Greek company. And there's something about name. Because in the 80s, we got import license because of that name. That is true. We were a very small, tiny company, and nobody knew anything about us. And because the name was sound foreign, you know, if you want to put it like that, many people thought it was a Greek company. So they decided to give 10 motor company import license in Nigeria. Leventis Motor, UTC Motor, you know, Coscharis was number 7 in the list. So, and that gave us a ponton route in our desire and quest for success. Coscharis have 26 branches nationwide and have offices in Ghana, Gabon, Ivory Coast, and had other 8 subsidiaries. Of course, you had the things we do. We're involved in information technologies. There's a subsidiary of the company, Coscharis Technologies. We are in banking. We are in beverages production. We used to manufacture motorcycle roller chain. We've just signed a confidential agreement with one of our partners to produce automobile in Nigeria. We're getting into other things that we're doing. How did all of this started? An interesting thing about a dream is that at first it appears unattainable, like a castle in the sky. But experience has shown that with dogged determination, unwavering commitment, and divine providence, a lawful dream can be achieved, even in the face of daunting challenges. What is important is to learn the patient to go through the practice of becoming rich and embrace the culture of hard work and engagement in legitimate business, and determine and demand determination to achieve success. Understanding that enduring business is not a product of chance or unprepared leadership. They are characterized by a clear vision and growth strategy actualized through prepared and structured organization and effective leadership. Many of us always say, I did my best. But please understand, in real life, many times your best is not good enough. Sir Winston Churchill said, it is not enough we do our best sometimes, but we have to do what is required. I suspect that there are maybe who will find the struggling and challenges that make up the Coscharis story a parallel that mirrors theirs. Therefore, rather than tell you more of what you may have heard already, I will tell you a little of Coscharis' story, a story of how we dealt with the challenges many entrepreneurs face. My thinking is that in sharing this with you, the lessons to be learned will be better appreciated in the contents of the challenge from which they are derived. If I am asked to write a 10 commandments of an entrepreneurship to aspiring entrepreneur, as an extract, I will extract this in the contents of the Coscharis story. It will read like this. We are now into the main story. So whatever you want to do, you do. Now if you want to take something, the first thing you do, if you really want to be an entrepreneur, the first challenge you face is a clear vision. A clear vision of organization you want to build, without which no small or medium enterprise will make it on the long run. All of the things I've told you before was about a vision. It might interest you to know, frankly speaking, while I was still working for my uncle, I used to sleep in a shop. Some students going to school early in the morning, dress up, passing, will look at me, some close their mouth and look their left hand and point at me and say, look at this rat shop. And they laugh. One day, I spoke back to them, because if you believe something, your mouth must say it. I said, 5 years from today, I'll be better than every one of you. I was still sleeping in a shop. One day, my uncle sent me to go to Neu to go and buy spare parts from our office is located at 88 Griffith Street at Oyimbo bus stop. On my way to Idomo to Park, I passed the AG Leventis building just by the corner piece property, they had the corner piece property in Udo. I pointed at that building and said, one day I'm going to make a building like this. The man was by my side, cocking my hair. I was sleeping in a shop and I was dreaming to make a building like AG Leventis. He couldn't understand what was motivating me. But if it's a true vision, it should go through trial and testing, but it must surely come to pass. Nothing can hinder it. A vision is appointed to speak, although it may tarry, but it must surely come to pass. Like I told you, Martin Luther, you see, Obama you see today was not only Obama's dream, it was the dream of Martin Luther that became reality in the life of Obama. It's not in your lifetime that, not all cases that in your lifetime your dream can become a reality, but 90% of them can still happen while you are here in life. After a dream, what is the next thing you are going to do? I'm saying I'm writing you 10 commandments of a small entrepreneurship. The second thing is to translate your dream into action. And this is where many people fail to get this dream to work. Because many of us has a wish and somehow we termed it to be a dream or a goal. A goal without a plan is only a wish. If you truly have a dream, there must be a well-clear plan that will follow that dream to become a reality. Colin Powell once said, a dream does not become reality through magic, but it takes with determination and hard work. If you can find a path without an obstacle, it probably does not lead anywhere. Because a goal without a plan is a wish. By the same virtue, Lady Kathleen said, nothing ever built rose to touch the sky unless some men dreamt that it should. Some men believe that it will, and some men will that it must. This is attributed to Lady Kathleen. So, it's not just about having a dream, but what do you plan to do with that dream? Are you ready to take some concrete step of action towards this dream? That's the only way that dream can become a reality. Third, the third commandment. Pick, that is choose, and remain focused in the business you thoroughly understand. You know, when we talk about success, some people misunderstand success. Some people thought that each time we talk about success is about being a businessman or about having all the money in the world. No, success is not money. Success is not beauty. Success is not power. Some people misunderstand it. Ask me to define success for you. For me, a definition of success is a progressive achievement of a worthwhile goal. Anything you put your mind to do that is worth a while. If you're a mechanic and you do your job as a mechanic better than any other person, you write your success story being a mechanic. That's how people become successful, being a doctor, a lecturer, a businessman, a religious person, or anything at all you want to do in life. Pick and remain focused in the business you thoroughly understand. Don't jump around. If you are selling bread and somebody tell you, oh, cement, 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 that's all where all the money are. You sell off your bread, I'm going to carry cement. You've never sold cement before. You don't know that when rain pour on cement, it's damaged. It cannot, it has formed a concrete. You borrow money from bank and import cement and rain put on top of it, you lose all the capital yourself and run bankruptcy. But your bread is still in a waterproof. If rain beat it, you can still clean it and resell. It's not even the best thing to happen. But stay focused on the things you understand well. Before you take a plunge into the next thing, please try to study that. So your knowledge and understanding of what you are doing is a key to your success. 4. In fact, if you notice, up to 3, I haven't said anything about money. That's why I tell you that many people just think that the first thing that is important is money. Don't you ever place money ahead of knowledge, because if you do, you will lose the money to gain knowledge. Knowledge is more important. In my own way, 7 years of university in automobile industry, I graduated with first class distinction. You know, some of you don't believe we do research, trading on a spare parts. The same way you do research in the university. When I was working for my uncle, I did a research, not in the formal ways you do. That's when I was able to find out something on a Volkswagen that can work on a Peugeot, something in a Peugeot that can work in Toyota, something in Toyota that can work on a motorbike. So what happened because of this knowledge I have? My uncle gave me 200 naira, little money. But a boy that just trading without going through apprenticeship, his shop is full with goods, but he's keeping his goods for me to sell because he doesn't know what he's selling. He's selling those things as they are in their package. But I know by the part number what is inside that package. So somebody come to his shop and said, I want the front wheel bearing of Toyota Corolla. He said, you know, day. The man come to my shop. I want the front wheel. I said, yes, I have it. He said, how much? I knew my second don't have it. All the people in the street, they don't know they have it. I said, the price is 15 naira. Maybe I can even buy it at 7 naira. He said, please give me discount. I said, the last price is, you know, I will just discount it for you at 7 naira. I will remove 50 kobo. The man will pay me. The man's shop is here. I will run away from here, go outside here, tell somebody to come to this man's shop and bring me 6301 bearing. He will come to him and ask him, please, can you give me 6301 bearing? He will give it to him. He will bring it for me back there. Before I get here, I remove it from the packet, bring it on the empty box. I give it to the man. He said, but are you sure this will match? I said, if it doesn't match, you take your money back. I'll write it in the invoice, guarantee. And I'll sell this man's goods. He doesn't know what he have. I'm the man selling it.